Want to do more high-value cosmetic, restorative, or rehabilitative cases in your practice? Using Preview Cosmetic Simulation and Smile Design software, you can subtly uncover cases even if a patient isn't asking. With a Preview Digital Smile Makeover, patients can clearly see and have a better understanding of the dental issues affecting their smile. But education alone will not motivate the patient to accept treatment. The decision to make a significant investment in a new smile is emotional. That's where Preview shines. Patients who can see how their appearance improves and can imagine how their redesigned smile will make them feel are more likely to pay out of pocket for treatment. Use Preview in consults, new patient exams, and regular recare appointments to increase case acceptance and build a pipeline of patients interested in larger value fee-for-service cases. To find out more, visit our vendor table or go to www.previewdental.com and schedule an online demo. That's prevudental.com. Preview software. Improve a smile, improve a life.
Welcome back to This is Day 2, and this is the PM session, and I am super excited because we're going to end this event with a bang with 3 amazing and inspiring speakers. But before we get started, again, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors because without them, this would not be able to happen, but also they support our group so much. So please look them up, support them, and they have some amazing show deals. So a quick shout out to our sponsors, Infinite Dental Tech, Kettenbach, Dental Stores, Simplastics, Preview Dental Software, MVP Mailhouse, United Medical Credit, Mango Voice, Bird Eye, Crazy Dental, CareStack, Dental Re, Mouthwatch, and last but not least, Dark Horse Tech with Ruben Camp. Please support them and take advantage of those amazing deals that they have for just this show. And our speakers for the PM session are Dr. Paul Homoly, who is a speaker coach, but also an expert in case acceptance. We have Dr. Janice Doan, who is a multi-practice owner, an author, and a legitimate dental boss. And we have a very special closing speaker to close out the session, and that's yours truly. Without further ado, Dr. Paul Homoly. Dr. Paul Homoly graduated from the University of Illinois College of Dentistry in 1975, and he practiced for over 20 years in Charlotte, North Carolina. During that time, he had received numerous awards and honors for his service in the dental association and dental industry, and also been active in dental education, including implant dentistry. Dr. Homoly has now expanded his career into working as a consultant and as the go-to instructor for dental speakers. With the Homoly Communication Institute, he helps dental practitioners close cases and increase their case acceptance. We are honored to have Dr. Homoly as one of our presenters.
Hello, I'm Dr. Paul Homoly, and welcome to my video lesson on $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. This is the first in a series of 8 video lessons on treatment acceptance for high-fee complex care dentistry. Dental technology has leveled the playing field on dentist capacity to deliver quality care. What used to be the exclusive domain of seasoned senior dentists and specialists now, thanks to digital and restorative materials technology, implant dentistry, all-on-4 restorations, cosmetics, orthodontics, and multi-unit restorative are all within the skill sets of many general dentists. Moderate to complex care dentistry is rapidly becoming less of a differentiator among dentists. You're no longer special just because you offer implants, cosmetics, and orthodontics. Although dental technology has dramatically changed during the last 4 decades, what's remained unchanged is the human nature of patients wanting to be well cared for. The patients who are in the most need of dentistry's advanced therapeutics are the same ones who will seek providers who make them feel safe, comfortable, and understood. The differentiator among dentists in this decade and next are the moments when they make patients feel well cared for. This differentiator exerts its greatest influence during the new patient experience and treatment presentation process. When I ask dentists to describe their new patient experience, they describe their procedures. They say something like, well, first we take x-rays, photos, and scans, then patients will see the hygienist, she'll examine them and clean their teeth, then I'll do an exam and my treatment coordinator will present treatment. Here's the word that describes this new patient experience: ordinary. Ordinary is not a differentiator. Ordinary doesn't get the job done for high-fee patients to feel they'll be well cared for. So, instead of thinking about the new patient experience in terms of procedures, what if you thought about it in terms for what it really is? The experiences of the new patients. It's the emotional experience patients have during the new patient appointment. The success of the new patient appointments, its influence is determined by the patient's experience, not by the delivery of procedures. Dentists can flawlessly deliver procedures, yet have it result in ordinary patient experiences. At fee levels of $25,000 and up, patients expect and deserve more than ordinary. To differentiate your practice and thrive in the high-fee domain of complex dentistry, patients need emotional outcomes from your new patient appointment that signal they'll be well cared for. This is so different from routine dentistry. Yes, patients for routine dentistry want to be well cared for, but the stakes for complex care patients are much higher. Complex care has greater risks. It has lifestyle-altering outcomes along with hefty price tags. Patients need to feel your dental practice is the right place for them. This video series will help you do it. This video series focuses on patients' emotional outcomes from each procedure during the new patient and treatment presentation process. Our next video is on the concept of emotional momentum. Emotional momentum consists of providing the 7 critical positive emotional outcomes that escalate throughout the new patient experience. These positive emotional experiences peak when it matters the most, during treatment presentation and financial arrangements. So, look for our next video on building emotional momentum that leads to treatment acceptance for complex care. This will be your second video in our series of 8. Thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome to our second video in our series of 8 on $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. During our first video, I introduced the concept of emotional momentum. Emotional momentum consists of the 7 positive emotional outcomes patients experience that escalate during the new patient appointment that influence patients to accept complex care. Emotional momentum is the essential differentiator between your practice from many others offering complex care. Here's a conceptual diagram of emotional momentum. The horizontal axis are the critical procedures in the new patient process. The vertical axis represents the positivity of the new patient experience. The diagonal ascending line represents the escalation of emotional appeal throughout the new patient experience. The diagonal line labels represent patients' 7 emotional outcomes related to each clinical procedure. Let's discuss each emotional outcome that constitutes emotional momentum. The first step in creating emotional momentum is likability. Patients prefer to experience a likable dental office environment. Now, this may seem like common sense, but think about this. Likability. What's likable about a typical new patient appointment? Is a full mouth series of x-rays likable? How about study models or intraoral scans? How likable are they? Or how about periodontal probing? Is that likable? You see, starting your new patient appointment with diagnostics can create an unlikable and ordinary dental experience. Dentists do it because, well, it's efficient. However, to initiate emotional momentum, rule number one is to be surprisingly likable. Here are 3 ways to do it. First, record a video of the dentist welcoming new patients to the practice. I call this the meet and greet experience. Make this a high production quality video. Use a video production company if you need to. Keep it under 2 minutes and have fun with it. In it, talk about what they can expect during their initial visit. Let them know about your COVID-19 precautions and assure them their safety and comfort are your prime concern. Here's an example of the meet and greet video from my online program, making it easy for patients to say yes. Hello, I'm Dr. Paul Homoly, and welcome to our practice. I hope you enjoy this video. I made it for 2 reasons. First, I want you to know what I look like. At your first appointment, my team and I will be wearing face masks. You won't be able to see my face. We ask our patients to wear masks also, so thanks in advance for wearing one. The other reason for this video is the coronavirus pandemic has changed healthcare and the dental treatment process. I'm sure you're aware of this. I want to give you an idea of what to expect during your first visit. To start, you and I will talk about any emergency concerns you have. If you're in pain or have any other urgent concerns, we'll do our best to take care of it. If you don't have any emergency concerns, I recommend we start your care with a complete examination. During your exam, I will look for all dental conditions that could become worse or contribute to a pre-existing medical condition. As you probably know, people with pre-existing medical conditions are more susceptible to coronavirus complications. After the exam, I'll reveal all of your conditions and recommend complete care. Now, there may be some conditions you aren't concerned about. Whether you choose to treat them is your choice. But you see, I don't have a choice. I have the responsibility of recommending complete care. How you proceed with treatment is always your choice. For those conditions you choose to treat, I recommend we treat them in the fewest number of appointments to reduce your COVID-19 risks. So again, welcome to the practice. I assure you, we put our patients' safety and comfort first. We'll take great care of you. I'll see you soon. The second way to be surprisingly likable is to be on time for their initial appointment. Being late to see your new patients is disrespectful. Far too many dentists running behind has become a bad habit. An easy way to always be on time is to schedule new complex care patients' first appointments in the morning and afternoon. See them first before any clinical appointments. Being on time will surprise and delight patients who've been accustomed to always being seen late in the medical environment. Plus, seeing patients first thing in the AM and PM, you'll be fresh. Now, the process with the highest potential for spawning a surprisingly likable event during a new patient appointment is a one-on-one conversation with the dentist. Have this conversation before any diagnostic procedures. The gold standard for initiating emotional momentum is the unexpected, delightful relationships dentists can start with patients. This is especially valuable to complex care patients who are over 50. Starting your new patient appointment with a personal conversation is an old school approach senior patients will love. Complex care for patients is personal. They want it to be personal to you too. Many of your complex care patients will be older than you. Approach the one-on-one conversation as a way of introducing yourself. Senior patients will see it as respectful. Take the time for you and your patient to get to know and like each other. Give your patients, give them a glimpse of who you are aside from your role as dentist, your role as a spouse or a parent, or maybe something you have personally in common with them. Senior patients don't get that experience in the medical environment where they're lined up in waiting areas and often made to feel as if physicians are doing them the favor. When dentists tell me, well, I don't have time to start my new patient process by talking to patients, I have my team do this. When I hear that, I know they're missing the best opportunity to initiate emotional momentum and becoming surprisingly likable. The combination of the meet and greet video, being on time, and having a one-on-one conversation to initiate a new patient appointment makes it immediately obvious to patients they are in the right dental office. Our next video is the third in a series of 8 and is about empathy, the second critical component of emotional momentum leading to treatment acceptance. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome to our third video on $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. The second emotional outcome in building emotional momentum is empathy. This starts during your one-on-one conversation. Empathy is about understanding patients, understanding how their dental conditions interfere in their lives. Empathy is discovering the lifestyle benefits they seek, how dentistry needs to fit into their lives. Here is where empathy resides on an emotional momentum illustration. Here's a bit of my experience from consulting with hundreds of dentists for over decades. Most dentists don't know why patients want their teeth fixed. Oh, they know what conditions patients aren't happy about, but often they don't know the lifestyle benefits patients seek. Discover patients' lifestyle benefits by being curious about how their current dental health bothers them. This lifestyle benefit is always the emotional opposite of what bothers them. The lifestyle benefit is the driver of treatment acceptance for complex care patients. When patients feel understood, they begin to see dentists as trustworthy. Patients hesitate to trust dentists who don't understand them. To discover patients' benefits, you must first discover their lifestyle disability. This disability is emotional in nature. The disability is not in their mouths. It's how they feel about their conditions. They're embarrassed, scared, frustrated, or maybe they're angry or worried, or maybe they've given up hope altogether. The lifestyle benefits they seek are always the emotional opposites of their disabilities. To discover patients' disabilities means engaging in a conversation about how their current dental health limits them. For example, after learning your patient is concerned, let's say, about their appearance, ask them, tell me about a time when this bothers you the most, or ask, is this something that gets in your way more at work or at home? You see, a big part is listening closely and making no treatment recommendations. There is an art to leading patients to talk about how they feel about their dental condition. Show authentic interest in how they feel. Be curious about their day-to-day experiences with their dental conditions. Be a good listener. Complex care patients often need to know it's okay to talk about how they feel. They don't get that opportunity much in the medical healthcare environment. Listen for more than what's being said. It enables you to offer answers that make patients feel truly heard. Listen closely, and you'll discover their disability. The behavioral lifestyle benefit they seek is always the emotional opposite of the disability. The behavioral benefit is the driver. It's the driver of treatment acceptance for complex care patients. Discover and acknowledge the behavioral benefits patients seek so they know you understand them. Giving patients the emotional outcome of empathy, of being understood, takes you another step up in accelerating emotional momentum. The importance of empathy. can't be overstated. That's why a big part of my online program, making it easy for patients to say yes, are the verbal skills to discover patients' disabilities and discuss the behavioral benefits they seek. Now, our next video is the fourth in this series of 8, and it's about advocacy, the third critical aspect for appealing to complex care patients. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome to our fourth video on $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. Advocacy is the third emotional outcome in building emotional momentum. It starts during the new patient conversation and continues throughout the treatment presentation. Here's where advocacy resides on our emotional momentum illustration. Advocacy is the emotional outcome for patients when they realize your concern about their dental care suitability. Suitability is how dentistry needs to fit into patients' lives. Is your care suitable for their budgets or work schedules or health issues, or how about their family matters? Your advocacy means guiding patients into making the right decisions and timing about their dental care. Your advocacy for complex care patients is critical. Here's why. From surveys of thousands of general dentists I've done for over 20 years, most patients whose complex care dental needs and their fees are greater than $10,000 or greater, 90% of them aren't ready to start complete care. It would make sense then to anticipate their lack of readiness early in your relationship. During your new patient one-on-one conversation, suitability is the elephant in the room, isn't it? The opportunity to express your advocacy resides in relieving patients' anxiety about the suitability of their care. Don't let worry linger about suitability throughout the new patient appointment. During your new patient conversation with complex care patients, let them know that dentistry of this nature for most patients is surprisingly expensive and time-consuming. Now, ease into this conversation after you've discovered their disability and behavioral benefits. Offer patients ballpark estimates of cost and time in treatment. Decompress the anxiety of suitability early in your relationship. Don't make patients wait until after all the time and effort of examination, diagnostics, and consultations only to experience a massive dose of sticker shock, disappointment, and at times anger. Sticker shock about complex care fees is inevitable. Losing patients from it is not. For many patients, it's not the right time in their life for complex care. Knowing this early in your relationship lets you accommodate their suitability and offer care that fits for them now. This keeps them in your practice until they're ready for complete care. The language of advocacy accommodates patient readiness. Phrases like when you're ready or you will always have the choice of when to start care. These phrases signal to patients you're not selling them into care, you're guiding them. For patients who aren't ready for care and have experienced advocacy, they'll return to you when they become ready. Our next video is the fifth in the series of 8. It's about hope, another critical emotional outcome for appealing to complex care patients. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome to our fifth video on $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. Many complex care patients have lost hope that dental care is possible for them. Restoring hope is the fourth step in building emotional momentum. Here's where hope resides on our emotional momentum illustration. I learned about restoring hope early in my career. I practiced as an associate in a small community called Spruce Pine in western North Carolina, in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Most of my patients drank water from wells on their land. There was no community fluoridated water supplies. On top of that were strong cultural attachments to soft drinks, cigarettes, and alcohol. Consequently, many of my new patients had severe dental conditions. After my exams, I revealed to patients all their conditions and my treatment recommendations, which included most of their teeth. What surprised me was their indifference to it all. I'd hear, well, doc, both my parents wear dentures. I guess I got soft teeth. What's the use in fixing them when I'm going to lose them anyway? I'd push back on their indifference. And I told them that modern dentistry could do amazing things. I felt as if I had to defend dentistry to those who've lost faith in it. After a short while, I began to realize that patient education can have unintended consequences. It can discourage patients. Many were already in a negative mindset about their soft teeth, and my new patient experience confirmed it for them. It was this realization that became my turning point. You see, I shifted my emphasis during my post-exam discussion from negative framing, meaning here's everything wrong with your dental health, and I shifted it to positive framing. Here's everything I see that's good about your dental health. For every condition outside of normal limits, I described the ones within it. Immediately, I began to see a change in patients' responses. And I'd hear things like, well, doc, no one's ever told me about the good things about my teeth, just the bad things. My team and I got really good at positive framing and gave patients hope. Positive framing doesn't mean sugarcoating patients' conditions. It's about presenting a balanced appraisal of dental health, citing the healthy and unhealthy conditions. At times, patients need more hope than education. Patients will appreciate and remember how well you made them feel. Inspiring hope as an emotional outcome during patients' post-exam discussion is critical. It's critical for complex care patients. Our next video is the 6th in the series of 8 and is about inspiration, another critical aspect for appealing to complex care patients. Thanks for listening. Inspiration is the 5th step in building emotional momentum leading to treatment acceptance for complex care patients. Inspiration occurs during the post-exam discussion after you've provided positive framing and discussed your examination findings. Inspiration is critical for complex care patients. Here's where inspiration resides on our emotional momentum illustration. Inspiration is provided in 3 steps. First, photographs of similar patient outcomes. Number 2, storytelling. And 3, a simulation of your patient's outcome. Let's start with photographs. It's inspiring for patients to see outcomes similar to what they can expect. Be sure your photographs are of professional portrait quality. Show before and after full face, smiling photographs. I like using an iPad to show photographs. This way patients can hold the iPad and feel closer to the outcome. Just hand the iPad to your patient, briefly tell them what they're looking at, and then remain silent. Let them enjoy the moment. Then it's time for step 2 when inspiring patients, storytelling. Tell your new patient the story of the patient in the photo. Patient stories all have similar structures. Start with the patient's first name in the photo and explain you've been permitted to use it. Then, tell about how the patient's conditions affected their life. It's the disability. After that, tell about how the dentistry improved the patient's lifestyle, the patient benefit. For example, your new patient, Christine, is looking at before and after photos of Lisa, a patient you treated months ago. After you've given Christine some time to experience the photo, tell Lisa's story. It sounds like this. Christine, this is Lisa. We treated her a few months ago, and she permitted us to use her photos. When Lisa came to us, she was worried about how her appearance might be affecting her career. Lisa is the head of a public relations firm, and she needed to project an excellent image to her team and clients. We restored Lisa's smile, as you can see in this before and after photo. The last time we saw Lisa, she told us she's never felt as confident in her appearance as she does now. The third step in inspiring is showing your new complex care patient a simulation of her outcome. There are digital scanning software packages available to show clinical outcomes. They require patients to go through the scanning process taken during your diagnostic records. A software application that does an excellent job of providing outcome simulations that doesn't require the scanning process is called Preview. I never heard of it until a few months ago. Now I think it's one of the best kept secrets in dentistry. Full transparency here. I have no financial relationship with Preview. Here's how it works. You take a simple full-face photo of your patient. Cell phone photos would work well. With only a modest amount of training and click and drag computer skills, a team member creates the new smile simulation in a few minutes. Here are 3 examples of Preview simulations. I think it's amazing how much dental aesthetics improves a person's overall look. Notice in this simulation how this patient's eyes look bigger and brighter from changes in her dentition. This one is my favorite. In the before photo, this patient looks homeless. In the simulation, he looks like he owns the bank. I like showing the simulations on an iPad so your patient feels closer to the outcome. Explain that they're looking at an approximation of their outcome. Say it's an estimate of how changes in tooth position, shape, color could improve their overall facial appearance. Then let them quietly experience the simulation. Then after a few moments, ask your patient the opinion of the simulation. An excellent question to ask is if they feel an outcome like the one they're looking at will provide the lifestyle benefit they seek. Think back to our lesson on empathy. During this lesson, we learned the lifestyle benefit patients seek. Let's say with your new patient, Christine, her lifestyle benefit is looking great for her daughter's wedding. Now, after Christine sees her outcome simulation, ask, Christine, is this something you had in mind for your daughter's wedding? Then let Christine talk. Don't lecture, don't educate, or get into clinical details. Let Christine imagine how she'd feel at her daughter's wedding looking as good as the simulation shows. This moment is about inspiring patients, not educating them. Often complex care patients need more inspiration than education. Let the simulation do its job. In my online program, Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes, I show an example video of using photos and storytelling to inspire. Combining excellent photography with well-told stories and outcome simulation provides the emotional outcome of inspiration. This escalates the new patient experience of emotional momentum, leading to treatment acceptance. Our next video is the 7th in this series of 8, and it's about confidence. Thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome back to $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. Confidence. Confidence is the 6th emotional outcome when building emotional momentum to facilitate treatment acceptance for complex care patients. Patients' confidence is something we've earned incrementally throughout the new patient experience. Here's where confidence resides on our emotional momentum illustration. Confidence leads to the expectation of achieving lifestyle benefits patients seek. Confidence leads to trust in the character of their providers. The intention of emotional momentum is to pique patient confidence to coincide with treatment presentation and financial arrangements. During the treatment presentations, patients make 2 decisions. First, they decide whether your clinical recommendations will satisfy their lifestyle benefit. Second, they decide whether you and your team will be their providers. By leading patients into confidence, we make both decisions easier. Their confidence dilutes doubt about the clinical outcome and the character of the provider. You'll be able to sense patients' confidence through their questions, their comments, their body language, and their facial expressions. It's important that patients sense your confidence during treatment presentation. This is why in my online program, Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes, I provide a template for confidently presenting complex care. The goal is to present care so well that even though patients may not be ready, they'll never forget how well you offered it. And when they become ready, they'll choose you to provide it. Your confidence is contagious. When you have it, patients will feel it too. Patients' confidence is what we've earned by enabling the preceding 5 patient emotional outcomes during the new patient process. Our next video is the last in this series of 8 and is about loyalty. Thanks for listening. Patient loyalty is the 7th and last emotional outcome along the path of emotional momentum. Patient loyalty binds patients intellectually and emotionally to your practice. Here's where loyalty resides on our emotional momentum illustration. Loyalty is the culmination of emotional momentum. Loyalty is the result of the preceding 6 emotional outcomes. Everything good that comes to us from dentistry results from patient loyalty. Patients returning for complete care who were previously not ready, patient retention, referrals, positive online reviews, and career fulfillment. I hope you remember from our first video lesson that when I asked dentists to describe their new patient appointment, they recite their procedures. They say things like, well, first we take photos, x-rays, and scans. Then patients will see the hygienist. She'll examine them and clean their teeth. Then I'll do an exam and my treatment coordinator will present treatment. My goal in offering this video series on emotional momentum is to evolve your thinking towards each procedure's emotional outcomes. Imagine if you did. Imagine if a few months from now I ask you, hey, tell me about your new patient experience. What impact would it have on your practice if you were able to say to me, well, Homoly, our new patient experience, we start out by doing our best to become surprisingly likable. We do this by sending new complex care patients our meet and greet video before their initial appointment. When they show up, we see them first appointment in the morning and in the afternoon. We respect their time and never keep them waiting. Before any diagnostic procedures, we have a one-on-one conversation where we get to know each other. During this conversation, we discover how their dental conditions get in their way, and we get clear about the lifestyle benefits they seek. A big part of our conversation, well, it feels personal. We talk about our families and our interests, and at times we discover things we have in common. We give our patients the experience of being understood. It's called empathy, and it's an amazing process for signaling patients they'll be well cared for. Because we know complex care patients worry about suitability, we give them ballpark estimates of cost and time in treatment. We don't let suspense linger from not knowing treatment fees. We want them to feel our advocacy. Our first responsibility is to guide patients into the right healthcare decisions. This conversation, it only takes us about 5 to 7 minutes. We've been doing it long enough to be efficient about it. After our exam, we're good about giving patients hope. So many complex care patients feel that good dental health is not possible for them. We make sure patients know all the healthy aspects of their dental health along with the unhealthy ones. We present a balanced appraisal of their dental health. We also help them imagine their outcomes. We inspire them. We do that with photos of patients' outcomes who've had similar conditions. We tell them stories about how complex dental care has changed their patients' lives. Everyone likes to hear good stories with happy endings. Our goal throughout the new patient appointment is to build patient confidence in us and our treatment recommendations. Our goal used to be just to educate patients. Well, we still educate, but the higher ground of our goal now is to pique patient confidence. Pique their confidence to coincide with our treatment presentation on financial arrangements. These conversations go so much smoother after we've earned patients' confidence. And even if patients aren't ready for complete care, they never forget how well we offer it. And when they become ready, they return to us. We believe our initial impression of likability, our empathy, our advocacy, how we give patients hope and inspire them to imagine their outcomes, how we've earned their confidence, all of this leads to their loyalty becoming automatic. Loyal patients refer their friends. They pay their bills. They give us great online reviews, and they keep their recall appointments. Our focus on the new patient appointment is to create positive emotional momentum leading to treatment acceptance. Now, can you imagine having a new patient experience like what I just described? If you can, let me help. My online program, Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes, takes you step by step through the process that leads to the 7 emotional outcomes of the new patient experience. This program is a lot more than just online videos. It's an opportunity to receive monthly coaching and feedback on implementing change in your practice. I invite you to join me inside Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video lessons, $25,000 and up, treatment acceptance for complex dentistry. One final bit of advice on the emotional outcome of loyalty. Certainly, loyalty is about keeping patients in your practice and strong referrals and great online reviews. However, keep in mind that complex dentistry in the $25,000 and up range is not without short and long-term complications. The more complex the dentistry is, the more complex the complications are. It's critical that patients retain their loyalty in the event of clinical complications. The value of emotional momentum extends beyond treatment acceptance. Because you invested in building strong relationships with patients through likability, empathy, advocacy, hope, inspiration, and confidence, they will remain with you and resist seeking second clinical or legal opinions when complications arise. The ultimate value of emotional momentum is patients' lifetime loyalty and belief in you. Your next video lesson coming up right now is called The Phantom of the Operatory. It's about why offering complete care is the new standard of care. I produced this lesson in the early spring of 2020, right after the COVID-19 pandemic started. As of today, COVID vaccines are working and the pandemic is ebbing. However, in several regions in the United States, Canada, and worldwide, the pandemic is far from over. The Phantom of the Operatory suggests we take a fresh look at how and why we should offer complete care. This lesson is the perfect companion to $25,000 and up. So listen closely to The Phantom of the Operatory. It was Halloween 1979. And opening night of Hickory, North Carolina's Little Theater play, Dracula, a romantic comedy. I had the lead role of Dracula. At the time, I had just opened my first dental practice just west of Hickory. I think they gave me the lead role because I told them I could make my own fangs, which I did, and were a big hit. Little theater performances in small towns like Hickory are crowd pleasers. Weeks before we opened, our theater troupe did a public relations event. We bussed our way to Catawba Valley Mall, where we joined the Red Cross Bloodmobile in its annual blood donor drive. We all dressed up in our costumes, and I prowled around the Red Cross trailer, rousing the little kids who joined in the fun. Opening night was a smash. We got a standing ovation from our audience, who probably had no real talent in evaluating good theater, but we still appreciated their delight. The play ran for 2 weeks. I wish it had run for 1. You see, after opening night and the next few nights, things get old, especially backstage. Backstage is not pretty. It reeks of pot and musty old curtains. Spooky things happen backstage. Mics that work perfectly suddenly stop as the curtain risers. Actors go blank moments before they make their appearance. Things disappear, then reappear. Illicit romances spawn in secluded backstage nooks. I'm telling you, backstage will change a man. It's no wonder that legends of backstage phantoms of old opera houses still exist to this day. Patrons don't see the backstage, only the front stage. That's where everything looks bright and fun. Front stage is where the action is. Backstage makes it all happen. Dental practices have a front and back stage too. Front stage is patient experiences, things they see and hear. It's their relationships with cheery front desk team members and eager hygienists. It's the decor, saltwater aquariums and consultation rooms with track lighting. And of course, it's their treatment experience. A big part of their front stage experience is having confidence that they're being well cared for. Front stage is where the action is. Backstage makes it all happen. Sterilization areas and labs, private offices, staff lounges, mechanical rooms. And just like in theater, spooky things happen backstage in dental offices. Compressors stop working for no reason. Crowns find themselves in the wrong case pans. Team members experience surges of mood swings. But the backstage quirk, most mysterious, is where treatment planning occurs. It's here where dentists design treatment plans. It's here where dentists choose the standard of care their patients receive. It's here where I believe the phantom of the operatory lurks. The phantom is our fear. It's dentists' fear of offering complete care, fear that presenting complete care will overwhelm patients or lose them from sticker shock. We all know treatment plans should offer patients complete dentistry, revealing all conditions and consequences if untreated. We know to discuss the benefits, risks, and alternatives to care. It's during backstage treatment planning, the phantom, our fear, exerts its malice. Too often, dentists acquiesce to the phantom. Complete treatment plans are sacrificed to a shadow of what they could have been. The concept of complete dentistry has been around for as long as I can remember. To clear things up, complete dentistry doesn't necessarily mean complex dentistry. For some patients, depending on their conditions, complete care may be a simple cleaning or a two-surface composite, or for my Canadian friends, a two-surface composite. Some patients, complete care is full mouth reconstructions. Complete care is the minimum amount of dentistry needed to restore patients to optimal function, comfort, aesthetics, phonetics, and airway. Now, that definition isn't mine. It's been around forever, and it has a nice ring to it. But do most dentists believe it? Do they do it? Or do they just pay lip service to it during study club meetings? I've done anonymous surveys of thousands of dentists during my seminars for over a decade. I ask audiences this question: how many of you are reluctant to offer complete dentistry out of fear of overwhelming patients or losing them from sticker shock? Guess what? Over 70% of audience members, thousands of them, are fearful of offering complete care. 70%. We all know offering complete care is the right thing to do, but most of us don't do it. It's the phantom, it's fear that stops us. As a result, too many patients never experience the front stage of complete care. To foil this phantom, to defeat our fear of offering complete care, requires us to rescue the concept of complete dentistry, rescue it from the dim backstage treatment planning areas, and invite it into the light of front stage experiences. I'm telling you, muster the courage to do what's right. In light of COVID-19, the traditional definition of complete care is no longer enough. Complete dentistry now is more than just the operational aspects of dentistry. It must now include reducing patients' systemic risks to COVID-19 during treatment. You can restore a patient's mouth, but if they become sick in the process, complete care has not been delivered. Reduction of systemic risks must be included in the new definition of complete care. Restoring patients to optimal function, comfort, aesthetics, phonetics, airway, and systemic safety. Just about everything I read in my inbox about reopening practices is about new guidelines for COVID-19 prevention. PPEs, room evacuation systems, N95 masks, you know all of that. The big picture here is COVID-19 guidelines have created significant inefficiencies in modern dental care delivery. No longer are we going to enjoy the efficiencies of hopping from chair to chair. Treating multiple patients simultaneously may cause more harm than good. Use of ultrasonics, air water syringes, high-speed air turbine handpieces are no longer worry-free. Compounding this are room sanitation recommendations that will slow the treatment process down to a crawl, and maybe, for now, make high collection days a thing of the past. So, how does rescuing the concept of complete dentistry out of the backstage and bring it to the front, how does it solve any of this? Well, here's how. I recommend telling new and existing patients up front, before any clinical procedures, that coronavirus infection prevention has changed healthcare and the dental treatment process. They'll understand this. They see it every day on TV. You also tell them that during your examination, you'll look for all dental conditions that could become worse or contribute to any pre-existing medical condition. As you know, there's plenty of real evidence about the oral systemic link. You see, this conversation initiates the process of bringing complete care to the front stage. Following this upfront conversation, do a complete exam. Then assemble a plan of care for complete dentistry and present it. Start your presentation by telling patients the benefits of the care they'll receive. Then fully deliver the concept of complete dentistry to your front stage. Explain that your responsibility now is to recommend complete care, care that will safeguard their ease of eating, comfort, appearance, speech, ability to breathe during sleep, and guard them from COVID-19 infection. Tell them you'll reveal all conditions you see and recommend complete care. Tell them there may be some conditions they won't be concerned about. Whether they choose to treat them will be their choice, but you see, you don't have a choice. Tell them you've always had the responsibility of keeping them safe and comfortable during treatment. However, now the standard of safety and comfort is much higher. Tell patients you recommend treating their conditions in the fewest number of appointments to reduce their COVID-19 risks. Tell them this means longer treatment appointments, completing as much of their care as possible. Patients will appreciate you taking the time and leadership initiative to do this. I'd say to each one of you, recommending complete care is the new standard of care. Now, here's how all this sounds. Let's imagine you have a new patient, Hank. He's seated in a consultation room or an operatory. And you start. Hank, welcome to our practice. How can I help you today? Well, Doc, I got something going on here on my back teeth on this lower right side. It doesn't bother me until I eat something, and I just don't want it to get worse. Hey, I understand, Hank. Is there anything else that concerns you? Well, Doc, it's been a while since I've been to the dentist. I guess I need a cleaning too. Okay, Hank. You know, I see in your record you work at Taylor Transportation. How have things been there? Well, Doc, it's been tough. A bunch of the guys were laid off. I was lucky. I wasn't. What do you do there, Hank? Well, I'm a long-distance driver. My run is from here to California and back, hauling produce. Oh, good for you, Hank. I appreciate you hanging in there. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. Thanks for that, Doc. Hank, coronavirus prevention has changed healthcare and dental treatment. Today, during your exam, I'll look for all dental conditions that could become worse. I'll look for anything that could contribute to pre-existing medical conditions. Hank, looking at your medical history, I see you have high blood pressure and diet-controlled type 2 diabetes. As you know, coronavirus is opportunistic for people with pre-existing conditions. Yeah, Doc, I know. I need to be careful. Now, I do a complete exam, and during the exam, I would talk with him. I would learn which conditions he's concerned about and those he isn't. After the exam, I assemble a treatment plan for complete care, including conditions he's not concerned about. During my treatment presentation, I'll have my patient advocate present. She's what most dentists call a treatment coordinator. Here's how my treatment presentation for complete care sounds. Hank, I can see why this area on your lower right is a problem for you. And you're right, we don't want this area to get worse and get in the way of your driving. Let me introduce our patient advocate, Ginger. She's the expert on helping patients fit care into their schedules and into their budgets. You two will have a chance to talk when you and I are finished. Hank, because of the risks of COVID-19, my responsibility now is to recommend complete care. Care that will help you eat without discomfort and guard you from COVID-19 infection. Today we'll talk about all conditions I'm concerned about. Now, there's going to be some conditions, Hank, that you're not going to be concerned about. Whether you choose to treat them is your choice, but you see, Hank, I don't have a choice. I have always had the responsibility of keeping patients safe and comfortable during treatment. However, now the standard of safety and comfort is much higher. Well, thanks, Doc. I'm all for that. Hank, I recommend we remove the broken fillings and cracked enamel on 2 teeth on your lower right side. We'll cover them with an enamel-like material. It's called crowning the teeth. Now, at this point with Hank, I would show him some before and after photos of posterior crowns, maybe on an iPad or something like that. Then I'd continue. Hank, you mentioned you're not ready to replace the missing teeth on your lower left side and straighten the crowded lower front teeth. I understand. When you're ready, I recommend we replace the missing teeth with dental implants. We can straighten the lower front teeth with removable aligners. We'll talk more about this when you're ready. Hank, it's important that we treat you with the fewest number of appointments to reduce the COVID-19 risks. I recommend we treat your lower right teeth and do your cleaning all in one long appointment. You'll be with us for about 3 hours to do all of this. The fewer return appointments you need, the safer you'll be, Hank. What questions, what comments do you have for me? You see, at this point, I'd handle technical questions. As questions about fees and insurance come up, I'll hand off to Ginger, my patient advocate. In light of massive unemployment, along with patients losing their dental benefit plans, you'll be tempted to retreat from offering complete care. Don't do it. If it isn't the right time for patients to accept complete care, they'll tell you. Let it be their decision, not yours. Yes, expect more patients than ever not to be ready for complete care. But by not offering it, you're back into collusion with the phantom. Like it or not, COVID-19 can be a turning point for you. You can choose to grow out of your fear-based thinking about complete care. It could be COVID-19 is the nudge you need to bring complete care back to your front stage. I'd say to each of you, recommending complete care is the new standard of care. Now, I know, I left a lot of loose ends here. You're probably asking, well, what about this or what about that? I can't get into everything in this video. Regardless of the loose ends, don't miss the main points here. Number one, most dentists don't recommend complete care out of fear of overwhelming patients and losing them from sticker shock. Number two, introduce patients to the concept of complete dentistry early in their appointment. Remind them why it's important now to eliminate dental conditions that may aggravate pre-existing medical conditions. Number three, dental regulatory agencies and associations have established guidelines for preventing the spread of the coronavirus during patient care. Number four, these guidelines will diminish the efficiency model of seeing multiple patients simultaneously. It slows the turnaround time of dental operatories from one patient to the next. Number five, while staying within the standard of care, provide the maximum number of procedures per appointment. This will help compensate for dental care delivery inefficiencies brought on by regulatory agency guidelines. As tragic as the coronavirus has been, it's created an excellent opportunity for us to rethink our relationship with complete dentistry. Rescue the concept of complete dentistry from the backstage of your office and bring it to the front. Tell patients about its benefits. Do it early before any clinical procedures. Then revisit it during treatment presentations. Link complete dentistry and minimal return visits to safeguarding patients' safety and comfort. I mentioned before, I'm leaving you with some loose ends. Now, if you want to tie them up and would like all the details on presenting complete care with no fear of overwhelming patients or losing them from sticker shock, visit my website at www.paulhomoly.com. Check out my 2 online programs, Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes and Case Acceptance Skills for New Dentists. Now, I didn't design these programs with worldwide pandemic in mind. It's serendipity that they have become the resource whose time has come. My hope is when the acute threat of the coronavirus is over, that dentists continue bringing complete dentistry to their front stages. Let's set free the phantom of the operatory, free to retreat back to 19th century opera houses where he belongs. Remember this, recommending complete care is the new standard of care. Thanks for listening, and be safe. I hope you enjoyed my lessons, $25,000 and up, and the Phantom of the Operatory. A big thank you to Dr. Glenn Vo and Nifty Thrifty Dentist for including me in this summit. I'd enjoy hearing about your experience with my lessons today. So email me at paul@paulhomoly.com. To learn more about my offerings at Homoly Communications, visit me at www.paulhomoly.com. Thanks for listening.
Our next speaker is Dr. Janice Doan. Dr. Janice Doan graduated from the University of Southern California Dental School in 2009. She's currently practicing general dentistry in San Diego, California. She is the author of Keys to a Healthy Smile After 40, 7 Secrets to Feeling 7 Years Younger. She co-authored this with her sister, Dr. Justine Doan. Together with Dr. Doan, they are running a thriving 7-figure multi-location group practice. She's recognized as a top 40 under 40 dentist in America and has been featured in the media as an exceptional dentist. Her lecture today is Building Your Life Empire.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Spring Virtual Summit. I am super happy to be here with you today, and I am so excited to be presenting on winning at the game of life and how to have it all. My name is Janice Doan, and I am a practicing dentist in San Diego, California. Today, I'll be sharing with you my personal secret on how to win at the game of life. How to win in business, family, and love. No matter who you are or where you are in life, you can have it all. Before I get started, I want to share a bit about myself. I graduated from USC School of Dentistry in 2009. I am a full-time general dentist practicing in San Diego, California. I co-authored a book with my sister titled Keys to a Healthy Smile After 40, 7 Secrets to Feeling 7 Years Younger. You should check it out on Amazon. Together with my sister, we run a thriving 7-figure multiple practice locations in San Diego. We were both named Top 40 Under 40 by Benko and Incisal Edge magazine in 2015. Most importantly, my biggest achievement is my 6-year-old son, Jake. And I also have been married for almost 11 years. So my goal for being here with you today is to share with you my personal secret of the things that I did that work. And I'm also going to be sharing with you the things that I did that didn't work. So then that way you can learn from my mistake, or you can learn from my success so you can fast track your business and your life. Before I get started, I want to just let you know how you can find me or connect with me online. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Clubhouse under Janice Doan. Or you can just simply email me at Janice Doan, that's DOANDDS@gmail.com. All right, we're going to get to it. So the first thing I'm going to share with you on how to win at the game of life is winning in business and what that means. So for me, winning in business means how to build my dream team. Let me ask you, do you have personnel issues? Do you find it hard to find the right team member? Do you think if there is anyone out there that would come and be part of your team? Do you think it's hard to motivate a team member? Do you have a hard time letting go of a team member? How about keeping a team member for more than a year? Do you ever get frustrated when your team member just don't work as hard as you do? And the list can go on and on. Before I go over how to overcome those barriers and build the team that you want, I want to give you some facts first. The first thing I want to go over with you, or the first fact that I want to share with you, is people don't cost money. It's the lack of productions and not having patience that costs you money. So instead of not hiring help that you need, hire the people to help move your practice forward. So then that way you can focus on building your practice. The second fact that I want to share with you is you cannot grow your business by staying small. If you are a startup practice, yes, you will have to start growing your practice because you start at nothing. It's a startup brand new practice. But eventually down the road, you're going to have to expand either with more chair in that same practice, or maybe a bigger location, or multiple locations, depending on what is it that you want to achieve at the end on your business goal. The third fact that I want to share with you is you cannot do it alone. Find a partner to do it with you, meaning that could be, the team to help you to grow your business. Or maybe you have to find a mentor to help you to go from point A to point B. Or find someone else, like a colleague, you might want to partner with to do it together with you, because each of us have our strengths and weaknesses. So we can help complement that each other if it's a partnership. Basically, just don't do it alone, because if you do it by yourself, you can do it, but it's going to take you a very long time to achieve from point A to point B of where you're wanting to go. If you have someone to do it with you, it's going to help you to speed up that process so you can achieve your goal faster. So that's my secret of how to fast track your business, which is that one fact. So now that you know those facts, I hope it helped you to understand why hiring, training, and developing and keeping a team member is so important for your dental business, especially in dentistry. Personally, for me, the 3 things that help me build my dental practice is knowing my mission. What is my why? Why am I here? What's the reason for me being here? The second is my vision. Where am I going? And how am I going to attract and align that team member to be on this journey with me? I have to sell that person the idea or paint that vision so vivid that they want to be a part of that. And the third thing is the core values. That's going to be the how to get there. By having core value, it helps you to hire, find staff member, and how to reward and how to fire them if they don't align with your core value. Because your core value will dictate your culture in the practice of how things should be. Because as you know, if one person or one thing is not ideal or aligned with your core value, then your culture will not exist. You're going to have one bad apple, and that bad apple will spread, and it's going to collapse your empire. So you really have to make sure you know what are the core value, what's important for you, how do you want your culture in the office be. Those things you cannot delegate to anyone else. You would have to be the one to come up with that, because that's why it's your practice and not someone else. If you don't know why you are there to help patients to grow your team, or where are you going from now in next year to 3 years to 5 years or even 10 years, then how would a team member want to be a part of that and grow with you? And then lastly, like I said, the core value for me is super important because it helped me to align their goal with the business goal when we do one-on-one meeting or performance review or just anything. That's the structure that I created, and that's how it's going to help us to grow our business to where and how and why. So using the core values, it helped me to also do my job posting when I'm looking for a new team member. I help with the language and the verbiage of attracting those team members that want to be a part of that, of my why or of where I'm going. And it also, once they come on board, they know exactly what our mission is. So then that way they can help to move the business toward that mission and vision. And when they are not, we're going to have to refocus them back on that. And that is going to help me to move forward with where I want to go. And if for some reason at that point, that team member no longer want to be a part of that, then that also guide me to not let them be a part of that journey anymore. Because as you grow from point A to point B, that same person that helped you might not be the same person that's going to help you to go from point B to point C. So that's why it's important for you to know exactly where you are going. So then that way you can pull the whole team forward and everyone has to align with that. And when they are not aligned with that, then that's when they're going to have to go their separate way and they are no longer have the opportunity to work with you in your business to go where you are envision yourself going. So with that, my hiring process is 1, find the person. 2 is attract that person to come and work for me. 3 is once they decide to come and work for me, how to align their goals, their personal, professional, and financial goals with the business, because when the business do well, they are part of that and they can do well. So you need to show the team member how they can grow with you and exactly how that lay out, what does that looks like. So you really have to know exactly what are the opportunity for your team member to go from point A to point B each step of the way. Because if they don't have incentive, they more likely not to want to work harder for you. But when they have a vision, a goal, and they want to be a part of that, they are more likely to want to help you achieve that. So you need to include them in the big vision. Once you align their goals with the business goals, then you need to find way and time and resources to develop your team member. That's either with, continuing education courses to improve their skill, how to, improve your case acceptance, anything in the business that you would want to invest in that team member, that would be their reward. Okay. And once you develop the team member, then the 5th step is how to keep them, because you want to help them to grow with you. So then that way you don't have to start with a new person. So with that said, you want to use the core value, the mission, and the vision to help you to hire, fire, and reward that appropriate team member. I know this is the Nifty Thrifty group, but I just want to say that 95% of your attention should be focusing on your income, the top line. And 5% of your attention should be focused on the expenses, which is the bottom line. If you keep your attention on your expenses, you're not going to create more income. The expense is not the problem. How to generate more income for your business should be the top priority. So for me, one tip I can share is having morning huddle each day with your team. So that way you can identify opportunity to present any pending treatment. You can coordinate with the team on who will be seeing that patient and making sure that you keep your team accountable for what they say they're going to do. And that way, at the end, everyone should have report back and have a quick meeting at the end. So then that way, we all know what is being done and what got missed and why it got missed. So then that way we can prepare for the next day and it just repeat and repeat. The second tip I can share with you is, as you focus on your income, make sure that you have some kind of follow-up system in place. Do you have one? If not, you need to create a follow-up system now. This is a big game changer in our practice, because when a new patient come in and they don't want to do everything, or they just want to do what the insurance cover, a lot of time you build trust during that first appointment. So you want to make sure that you have a follow-up system for them to come back to see you. So then that way it gives you an opportunity to present the next things that they should be doing to help them achieve optimal dental health. So if you don't have one, you need to create that. And if you do have one, you have to make sure that it's being followed more than once. A lot of time, you have a team member calling that patient and, they say no, and that was it. You need to have that team member be persistent in following up with patient on a regular interval and be creative with that. All right, so now that we know how to win in business, I want to share with you how to win in your marriage, how to get your partner to be and stay on the same page as you. The first secret that I want to share with you is communication. It sounds very simple, but it is true. A lot of time we talk and we don't really take the time to listen and be present. So I've been with my husband for 21 years and we have been married for almost 11 years. So throughout those years, we work a lot on our communication, and even with now, I feel like we're still constantly working on our communication skills. So my biggest advice on that is really listen when the other person talk. Don't try to interrupt or project while they are talking. Let them finish talking and express themselves, and then really listen and see their emotion behind that. After they are finished talking or communicate to you, then you can respond back in a way that is non-judgmental and really come from a place that want to figure things out together, be positive, and try to resolve that together. It takes two people. It cannot take one person to do all the work. So you really want your partner or your spouse to be on the same page as you do by making sure that you both have that communication skill and really work on that. Because even when you communicate effectively and your spouse doesn't communicate back, it put you in a very difficult position because you're trying versus they might not be trying as much as you are. So communication is key, and I'm sure you heard that before, but that's really kind of like an onion for me, because as I been with my husband more, it takes more layer off each time that we communicate together. So the key is to listen and not interrupt, okay? And when you do talk, don't bring up the past. Focus on building the present and the future. There's no good thing come from bringing up the past. You have your own past, your spouse have their own past. So leave it in the past, because right now you are here. Be in the present and really focus on building the future for both of you guys together. I do that by making it a priority each week for us to have a check-in. We do this on a Sunday, either a walk or a coffee run, just the two of us. So then that way we can talk about the things and remind each other about our goals and each other goals. And that way we can be on the same page. So I learned this from my mentor. An exercise that we do every Sunday is you write out in one column, what is your goal? And your spouse write out the other column on the other end, what is their goal? And in the middle, you each should have your own goal together as a family of where you guys want to go. So again, having a mission of what the family unit is doing, having a vision of where you are going, and applying the core value that you have at the office to at home, so then that way you are aligning each other on how to get there. So when you are not living up to the core value, then we have to make sure that yourself or your spouse have to be accountable for that. Because when there's disagreement, it's very hard to communicate and move forward. So you really have to make sure there is agreement on what you say you're going to do. And you really have to put in the effort to do it in order to get the result. So when we do our check-in, we go over our goals and anything else we want to bring it up to each other. You know, life happen and things change. So it's time for us to work as a unit. So then we each on the same page. Because when we go separately, it's going to take more effort and time for each of us to go our own way. So it's better when two people pulling things forward, then you're going to achieve the end result a lot easier and better. And we reward each other by putting fun things on the schedule so we can look forward to. So we have like the biggest event is once a year we do a family vacation. But each month we set up fun things for us to do as a family. So then that way we have something to look forward to. Throughout the week when we work, we really focus on the work. But when it's family time, we really want to be present and really do be there for each other and for our son. So we work on each other being there intentionally and not just being there and the other person on the phone or doing something else. Is together. So in order for us to do that, you have to have a plan. And our plan is to making sure that we going to, or we setting goal to be going to where we supposed to be going. So then that way we can grow each year and not stay at the same place. So those are my tip or my secret on to have a successful marriage. Great. Now that we are having a great marriage, what's next? How do we win in the next part of life? You guessed right. The next part in winning at the game of life is how to raise a happy and positive child and create your legacy. For me, the biggest takeaway is lead by example. My son, even when he was young, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he always watching me. Even if he doesn't talk yet when he was younger, or even when he can't really understand things yet or talk, he's always looking at me to see what I am doing. So I always lead by example when I am around him, because I want him to learn the positive attribute of how to be a good person, a good helper, how to contribute in the household. Each person in our household has a role, has their own responsibility. How can he partake in being a part of our family unit? So I lead by example by making sure that I do things that are positive. I remember when he was maybe 3 or 4 years old and I went to go work out and he insisted in coming with me. He didn't want to be by himself or at home with my husband. So I took him to the gym and he would be watching me doing my workout. And next thing I know, he's right next to me doing everything that I was doing at his own pace. And he does it really well because kids, they watch, they observe, they mimic, and they do the things that they see you do. So that lead me to my next secret is show and not tell. Just like we learned in dentistry. Always show your son or your kid what you are doing and not just telling them or, making them do things. Explain and, show them why they should do it this way versus another way. Luckily, my son is just 6 years old, so he listened really well. But I'm sure as he get older, he's going to have his own version of how he should do things and why he shouldn't do something that he knows is good for him, but yet he does the wrong thing anyway. So I'm just waiting to get to that period. But right now, I'm just very happy being where he is because he listened. Because he listened, I was able to get him to help me with doing the chores around the house. So I don't just tell him to do something. I ask permission from him to, hey, would you like to help mommy to do this? Or do you want to help with this? Because as kids, they love to help. They want to do things to help you. And when you don't let them help you, they feel like they're not contributing. So therefore, they go through this withdrawal and they think that you don't want them to do it. So instead, what I did with him is, for example, I was cleaning my car one day and, my car is an SUV, so it's a little bit bigger. So I didn't think he can do it, but he wanted to help me. So I let him get a sponge and a cloth and he start putting in the water and start cleaning my tires. And even though he doesn't really clean, but the fact that he's doing it helped me to help him because he felt like he a part of something. And allowing him to help is a way for him to feel like he's part of the family, that he's contributing, and that he knows what is his role and what each of our roles should be. So I encourage you, if you're not letting your children help you to do things around the house, then you should. And if they don't want to, you need to convince them to help you. So then that way they know that it is their role to help with the house chores. And that is not everything, is just you and you alone. And really be present is my next tip on raising my son right now. Because as I work a lot of hours when I come home, I really want to be present with him and really make it intentional to be there with him, to do things, to talk, to play. I don't look at my phone. I don't do other things that I'm supposed to be doing because when I'm at home and he's not sleeping, that's his time with me. And I don't take away his time with me because it's so valuable as he's growing up so quickly. So when I'm home, it's like Jake time. So we do all the fun things that Jake wants to do. And the last tip for me in raising my son successfully that I think is communications. Communication is key for me because I talk to him as if he is my equal, not as if he is a child, someone that don't understand or that not to my level. Because if I treat him that way, then guess what? He's going to be a child and he's not going to take responsibility and really make an effort in doing what he should be doing. And so I really talk to him with respect as if he is an adult. And that way I can expect to receive an adult who can help me responsibly do things at his age of what he's capable of. So that is my tip on how to raise a happy and positive child. So now that you are winning at the game of life with having a happy and positive child, the last part that I want to share with you on how to win at the game of life is how to have more time to do it all. So for me, it's really all about making it a priority. Certain things in the day is higher priority than others. Not every task that you do have the same equal importance. So you need to figure out what it is that you want to do that will give you the biggest win for the day to move you forward for your goal. So then that way you can really tackle the biggest thing that can give you the biggest impact, either in your business, in your marriage, in raising your son, or anything for that matter. So really making it a priority because you want to make the biggest impact first. So because of that, I usually choose to do the hard stuff first. I don't wait until the end of the day to do the hard things because that's when I'm going to be so tired. I want to be fresh and be able to do the hardest stuff first because the hardest things that you need to do will always give you the biggest impact. So I try to tackle doing the hard stuff first every day when I'm still very bright and not tired. And then the second tip I can give you is trading time for money. What that means for me is getting help. I'm trading money for more time so then that way I can do things to create the biggest impact. So for example, this could be, me getting a nanny to help me with taking care of Jake when he was younger. Or now that he's older, I'm getting, a helper to help me to play with him. So then that way, he can be active and do the sport or the activity. So when I pay for classes or lesson, that's my way of trading time for money. Okay. So it allows me to do the things to move me forward toward my goal while someone else helped me with the other stuff. Or even right now when I'm at home, I don't want to do, cleaning the house or doing laundry. I have a housekeeper that comes and help me to do the housework. So then that way I can have free time to play with my son or to do some other business work related. Okay. So you can always trade time. Some people just don't want to do it, but that's definitely the biggest successful action that have helped me because I cannot be doing everything. So I have to prioritize what the important things for me. Once I know what's important, then I can do those things that I want to do and not the things that I don't want to do, because the things I don't want it to do will not create impact on my goal or help me toward that goal faster. And the last thing that I would like to share is, you really have to control time and don't let time control you. How many time in the day do you have? You have the same time as I do, and I have the same amount of time as you do. So why is it that I might be able to get more work done than you do, right? So the answer for that is, for me, I really try to finish all the work and not wait until later. I get it done now. That way I can be more productive. I don't have to put my attention on that doing this anymore. I just focus on the next things. When you put things later, you're going to have to eventually do it, but then later become even later to even later. So why not just do it now and get it done? So it's always my priority. When I do something, I get it done right there. So then that way I don't have to think about it and I move on to the next things. So really finish the work and not wait until later. Get it done now. That's how you're going to have more time to do everything that you need to do. So lastly, I just want to share with you one final piece of advice is don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just focus on what you are doing, on how you're going to move forward to the next step toward the goal that you have set for yourself. Every day, keep moving little and little, and eventually you will get there. If you have an idea, just go with it. Don't think about it. Don't allow negative thought in your mind, because once you let that doubt come in, it's going to prevent you from taking action. So then it prevents you from becoming successful, which I think you deserve to be successful. Every one of us should be successful. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the presentation on how to win at the game of life and how you can have it all. I hope my tips and my secret of the things to do and not to do have helped you in one way or another. And if you want to connect with me, again, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or by email at janicedawndds@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the other speaker presentation, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Dark Horse Tech delivers top quality IT support to your dental office. Your technology will maintain HIPAA compliance and limit your downtime to keep your office running efficiently. With cloud and off-site backup, local storage, data testing, and encryption, your practice can rest assured that you are maintaining patient information securely. Dark Horse's backup system provides a 5-minute full recovery of your data. Compare that with a typical 24 to 48-hour downtime, and you will see that Dark Horse brings exceptional service with peace of mind. Learn what over 700 dental offices already know, that their trusted backup solutions and support are ready when you need it. Dark Horse stays ahead of security standards so you don't have to, including the Safe Harbor HIPAA law changes for 2021. Those frustrating tech issues are quickly addressed, and your office can keep focusing on what you do best, taking care of patients. Take advantage of this special offer for Summit participants. Free, no downtime backup system with a 1-year term, a value of $995 or more. Their backup plan is offered at $99 per month with this limited time deal. Dark Horse Tech takes charge of your IT with a great price, fast response, and your data safety in mind. From design and implementation to ongoing support, let your IT needs be outsourced to Dark Horse Tech.
Dr. Glenn Leonvo is a practicing dentist, best-selling author, business coach, and creator of the Nifty Thrifty Dentists. Dr. Vo helps practices save money and levels them up through the power of social media. He's also an international speaker with topics from overhead management to adopting a growth management. He continues to operate a successful group practice in Denton, Texas, and will be releasing his second book, Industry Influencer. Now get ready for Dr. Vo's presentation, Owner Care Prevents Staff Despair.
Welcome to my presentation. We saved the best for last. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to Gandalf doing my introduction. That is sweet. It's not every day when you can get Gandalf to introduce you as a speaker. Well, I'm the last speaker, and the message that I want to share with you guys is something that we've all been facing right now. The issues with staff, right? And again, it's so many variables that go into what's going on in today's world. All these companies, they can't find people to work, and whether it's political or economical, it is what it is, right? But what I've always told people, the best way to handle a staffing situation is take care of your existing staff. So that's what we're going to be discussing today, how owner care can prevent staff despair. Now, before I go into my presentation, I want to let you guys know that I've made all the mistakes that you can think of when it comes to staff. And actually, I am still learning today. I am still learning. So what I want you to think about is, if you're having issues with your staff right now, don't worry, I've been there. Maybe you have a great staff situation and you don't have to worry about this. The thing is, what I want you to do is approach this presentation, listen to this presentation with an open mind. Because whether it's the whole presentation or little bits and pieces, take what you can to help your particular situation. But again, I've made so many mistakes, and what I'm going to be talking about is the things that I've learned to really prevent staff despair. Now I'm going to take you back in time right now. And I want you to think about all the family vacations that you've ever taken, right? Think about all the family trips. Was there like one particular place that did you go to? For my family, it was California. We went to California every summer, and we had family over there, so made it convenient. And then we went to Disneyland. I literally went to Disneyland every summer when I was a kid. And one of the first trips to California, I remember we had this station wagon. If you look at these pictures right here, this is my brother and I, and that's a picture of me right over there to the right. And that station wagon, that Oldsmobile red station wagon, that was brand new in that picture. And we literally drove that station wagon for like the next 8 to 10 years to California. And so we really put some miles on it. But that station wagon was what we took to California. Now, my parents had a unique way going to California. They always did most of their driving at night. And during the day, we would stop a lot at truck stops, at rest stops, and hang out. And when we drove to California, my mom, she would pack a really big cooler in the back. And it had like our Vietnamese food in there, drinks and snacks and whatnot. We rarely stopped. And my mom's reasoning was, well, the food is not as good as the food I cooked, and it's not healthy, and we also want to make good time. So I didn't think anything of it. And of course, when we went to California, we would stay with family because, again, that was a big part of the trip, would stay with family, and then we would go to Disneyland, right? So what was really exciting is every year when we came back to school, my teachers would ask, well, what'd you guys do over the summer? And I'd be proud about it, say, I went to California and I went to Disneyland, and all the kids would be like really jealous, and it made me feel really good. But it wasn't until years later when I was looking through my old photo album and I came across this picture. My mom was like sitting with me. She was like, oh, remember how we used to drive at night and I used to pack the cooler? And I said, yeah, you never told me like why you did that. And she explained, and she said, well, that station wagon, do you remember how there was no AC? And I was like, yeah, there was no AC. See, we were an immigrant family, and that station wagon, that Oldsmobile station wagon, was the very first car my dad ever purchased in the United States. So obviously there was no AC. It was a base model, no AC. We actually had to roll down our windows. Do you guys remember rolling down your windows? Most of you guys probably don't even remember that. But yeah, that was way before power windows. So we had to drive during the nighttime because it was hot. There was no AC. In the cooler in the back with all our Vietnamese food and snacks and stuff, my mom said, well, the reason why we didn't want to stop is because we were trying to save money. We were an immigrant family of 5, and we had to cram everyone into that car, and we drove to California. That's the only way we could take a vacation. And of course, we went to California because family was there. You had to pay for a hotel. And then whatever money my parents saved up, we went to Disneyland. They splurged on Disneyland. I told my mom, wow, it's such an amazing story. You went through a lot to do that. And she says, I did it because giving you the all-American experience, the experience that any American child would have with vacations, that was my goal. That was my why. That's why I wanted to do those things. She wanted to make an impact, but she wanted to share with me the lesson that no matter where you are on the socioeconomic ladder, you can always find a way to take a vacation with your family, with your loved ones. And that stayed with me for a long time. And you know, when you think about it, we all have an opportunity in our practice to make a positive impact, not only on our patients, but our team members as well. And I want you to think about this. When we're talking about team happiness and growing our practices, I want you to think about this concept. If you want someone to care about your practice, then you have to care about them, right? You have to care about them. And so again, we have this opportunity to not only help grow our practice with the help of our team, we have an opportunity to make a genuine connection and with our team members by caring about them. So again, for the team members that stay in practices for the long term, it's rarely for the paycheck. It's more for the actual relationship. So we have a unique opportunity to not only mentor, inspire, but provide a true future for our team members. To me, preventing team despair, it all starts with having a deep connection, and that's the key. So before I go any further, most of you know who I am. I'm the founder of Nifty Thrifty Dentist. I'm actually a practicing dentist. I have a group practice in Denton, Texas, which is outside of Dallas. I practice with my wife, and we have multiple specialists on our team. We also have multiple associates as well. And I've been very fortunate, but I've also been fortunate enough to learn a lot of lessons I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. With Nifty Thrifty Dentist, I help everyone get deals and discounts, but our platform is more than just deals and discounts. It's a community that brings people together that helps us all level up. And I work with other companies to make sure that they are working with us in the right capacity so that we can all prosper. Enough about me. Let's keep on going here. So what causes team despair? It's all about relationships. Whenever you have a breakdown in relationships, no matter whether it's in your team, at home, with your friends, with your family, that causes despair. And again, if we have that relationship, we cultivate that relationship, we'll be able to prevent team despair. And I have this system called the engagement cycle that will help us eliminate, or at least limit the team despair in our practice. So the engagement cycle is made up of three things: core identity, genuine connection, and growth potential. Now I want you to think about, for those who are married or engaged, I want you to think about when you finally decided that your significant other was the one. So if you were the person that was about to propose to someone, right? You got these things going through your head. You're wondering, okay, do I really know this person? Do I really know this person, know what they're all about? And then you go, well, am I in love with this person? Is this someone that I'm in love with? I'm willing to make that commitment. And then you think a little further down the line, do I have a future with this person? Is this person, could they be the father of my kids, the mother of my kids? Could I see myself raising children with this person? Do I see myself growing old with this person? I want you to think about that cycle when we decide, yes, I want to propose, or I want to accept this proposal. The engagement cycle is very similar. And again, that's how we develop this, relationship, this connection with our team, right? It's three things. It's core identity, genuine connection, and growth potential. And those all come together to keep us engaged with our team so that we prevent the team despair. Now, to get the most out of this presentation, I want you guys to click on the link. There's going to be a link in the comments that will send you to some downloadable forms that I am giving out. So you'll see that I'll be referring to some forms, but and you're probably wondering, well, where am I going to find that at? You're going to find that in the downloadable, that link, so you can download it. So later on you can download it and you can fill out the forms and really take full advantage of this course. Okay, so the goals of this presentation, there's 3 goals. Okay, there's 3 goals that I have for you guys. Number 1, we're going to create a practice that your team cares about. We're going to create a practice that your team cares about. Number 2, we're going to create a genuine connection with your team. And 3, we're going to create a growth-minded environment. That is our goals for this presentation. Now, let's go back to the engagement cycle. Core identity, genuine connection, and growth potential. And we're going to start with core identity, the first phase of the engagement cycle. So this picture here, this is four generations of Glenn Leons. The gentleman in the center wearing the white shirt, that is Glenn Leon Rogers the first. On the far right is Glenn Leon Rogers the second, his son. The guy next to him that looks like Bon Jovi or some kind of rock star from the 80s, that's Glenn Leon Rogers the third. And you guys probably guess who I am, right? I'm Glenn Leon Vo. So I'm Glenn Leon the fourth. I show you this picture because, again, a lot of times, people always wonder, like, where did I get my name? Do I have a Vietnamese name? I don't. I have named after this man because this man, I call him Grandpa Rogers, was instrumental in helping our family settle in the United States. He was a big volunteer with Catholic Charities. And Catholic Charities, a big mission of Catholic Charities is to help refugees settle in this country, get acclimated so they can be productive members of this society. So he's really big on helping our family get settled in the United States. Now, this picture was the last time we were all together in one place. And this was at a Christmas dinner over at Grandpa Rogers' house. And I remember like it was yesterday. There was our family and 3 other Vietnamese families there. Grandpa Rogers' family was there as well. It was a packed house. And I remember when I was walking into his house, I could smell like just all the great food. There was prime rib. There was ham. Grandma Rogers was an excellent cook. She was baking cakes, not pies, from scratch, doing all the fixing. I remember my mom in there helping out in the kitchen. All the ladies were helping out in the kitchen. My mom was taking notes because she really wanted to learn how to make American food. And I remember after stuffing myself with all that great food, and I remember just sitting down. And, if you guys look at this picture here, Grandpa Rogers, he's wearing like a white shirt. He actually was wearing a dress shirt, but he sure does like Grandma Rogers' food. And so, again, he ate so much that he had to take off his dress shirt so he'd be comfortable. That's why he was in a white shirt. But I remember at the end of the meal, I was just looking around. I said, Grandpa, why do you do this? Why did you invite all these people over here? I mean, there's your family, these 3 other families, there's my family. It's a packed house. And he put down his drink and he looked at me and he said, Glenn, I do this because this is what I believe in. I believe that if I can help your families and these other Vietnamese families get a fair shot in this country, I feel like if I can help you, that one day you're going to help someone else. And one day you're going to help my country. And, that's something that's always stayed with me because Grandpa Rogers, he was way ahead of his time. He was telling me about paying it forward. And that's what was really important to him. That was a core value of his, paying it forward. And when we think about paying it forward and what we're about, when you think about our practice and we tell our team, okay, we're here to take care of patients and whatnot, but do you have a defined identity? Because people want to believe in something that are bigger than themselves, right? And that's where core identity comes in. There's two components in core identity. There's core values and there's core self. These two components make up the core identity. So core values, I mean, you've probably heard about core values before. Maybe you have core values in your practice. Maybe it's something that you've always thought about. Maybe it's something you never understood. But core values are the essence of a practice's identity. It's the principles, it's the beliefs, it's the philosophy. What core values is not a bunch of worn out cliches that don't mean anything. Core values is not something you go through and you put it down and you forget about it. Core values is what guides your business. It needs to authentically define about who you are and how your team operates, behaves, and interacts on a daily basis. That's what core values should be for your practice. These are the core values in my practice. And again, the core values is something that authentically describes your practice. But the big thing about the core value you have to remember, it also has to include your team. It has to be something that your team can get behind. So these are the core values in my practice. Family, awesome, inspire, teamwork, and happy. And there's an acronym that's formed right there. It's called FAITH. We're a faith-based practice. Faith is really big to my wife and I. It really guides us in a lot of things that we do in our practice. And so that was intentional. But as I go through the core values, I'll explain to you what they all mean. Family to me is treating someone with the utmost urgency and respect and care. When you treat people like family, you prioritize them. We prioritize our patients. We prioritize our team members. And so family is a big part, and we that is something that we treat each other with as well. The next thing is awesome. And for those who know me really well, whenever you talk to me, you probably hear me say awesome every other word. I love that word. But awesome to me is over-delivering. It's having the highest of standards. So whether it be our dental practice, our general dentistry, our customer service, the way we treat each other, awesome is something that we strive for. Inspire. We inspire our patients to become better. We inspire each other to become better. Myself as the leader, I inspire my team members to get better every day. Whether it be inspiring them to take additional CE, putting them into places to succeed. Inspire is a big part of our practice. Teamwork. We work as a team, but we work with our patients as a team to help them get healthy. And the last one is happy. We want our team members to be happy. We want our patients to be happy. And sometimes happy means working with us, and sometimes happy means going somewhere else. But again, we believe that everyone should be happy. This is the first of the downloadable resources that I'm going to have available for you guys. And again, if you don't have a set of core values yet, it's okay. It's okay. You know, when I first opened my practice, I didn't. This is something I picked up over time. But here's a downloadable resource that you can use to start working on your core values. And think about what authentically defines you and your practice, but also something that also includes your team, because that is going to be really important. Because people want to have some values that they believe in, that they can follow, that's bigger than themselves and the practice owner. Now, before I get into the second part of core identity, I want to share this quote for you. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And I love this quote. I love it because a lot of times when we're thinking about improving ourselves, leveling up, getting better, it all starts about knowing who you are, knowing what you like, what you don't like, what your traits are, what you're really good at, what you're not good at. You can't have growth without knowing yourself. And that leads us into core self, the second component of core identity. A good team follows a good leader. And here's the thing: when you're a practice owner, you sign yourself up as being a leader. Whether you want to be a leader or not, once you commit to opening a practice, you are committing to becoming a leader and trying to become better. And that means being able to talk to your team, relate to your team, inspire a team. All those things go under leadership. But before you go there, do you know yourself? Do you really know yourself? Like, how do you approach problems and obstacles that come into day-to-day in the practice? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Most people are not sure about that, but there is an assessment called the Kolbe A assessment that I am a big fan of. I loved it so much that I actually became a Kolbe certified consultant myself because I wanted to understand it more and help other doctors. The Kolbe A assessment measures your instinctive way of doing things, how you approach problems naturally. It's different from the DISC assessment. It's different from Myers-Briggs because they are measuring something called cognition, which is basically your instincts on how you solve problems. Now, the Kolbe assessment, again, it naturally helps measures how you naturally solve problems, and it's the way you solve problems is your method of operation, MO, and it basically focuses on what you do well. And so there's four action modes, four of them, action modes that make up a Kolbe assessment, a Kolbe A score. The first thing is fact finder. Now, fact finder is gathering and sharing info, and it's focused on facts and data. So someone with a very high fact finder score, they are focused on knowing all the facts, all the details before they make a decision. They have they need to get all the details together, all the facts together, and then they make a decision. The next action mode is follow through. It's arranging and designing. People with a high score on follow through, they focus on systems and guidelines. These individuals, they need to have a specific system. They use a specific system they go through to figure out a problem, to answer a problem, or to figure out a solution. The next thing is quick start. The next action mode is quick start. Quick start deals with risk and uncertainty, and they thrive on deadlines and quick thinking. Deadlines and quick thinking. So people with a high quick start, they make decisions very quickly, and they thrive when things are chaotic. They don't follow any. They don't really focus too much on anything else. They make decisions really quickly, and again, when there's chaos, this is where people thrive with the quick start, high and quick start. The next thing is implementer. The next action mode is implementer. It's handling space and intangibles, creates handcrafted solutions, prototypes, construct tangible solutions, hands-on approach. So most dentists are leading with implementer, right? And implementers like to get their hands out. They're the ones who, when they're trying to explain something to you, they pull out like a whiteboard and they start drawing all these things. They like to draw things out. In a clinical sense, implementers, they like to grab like the cast, and they like to manipulate things and see how everything. They like to make their decisions based on getting their hands on the things. Now, something for you to understand when it comes to the Kolbe assessment is that you can't have a failing score. It's whatever score that you get is what makes sense for you, that describes you. So if you have a low number in any of these things, it doesn't mean that you're insufficient in anything or you're lacking in anything. That just means that you make decisions and you kind of veer towards whatever you're leading. So that number that you saw earlier, that's actually my Kolbe score. 392. I'm a leading quick start, and the second thing that's high is my fact finder. So let's read what Kathy Kolbe gave to me. She is the founder of the Kolbe Corporation. She did my Kolbe assessment. And just to let you guys know, my podcast, the Nifty Thrifty Dentist podcast, I actually interviewed David Colby, who is the president of the Colby Corporation. I interviewed him. He explains everything. If you guys want to learn a lot more, definitely listen to that podcast episode. And again, if you guys want to take a Colby assessment, just reach out to me. I'm a certified consultant, and I can put you through these Colby assessments so that you can learn more about yourself and your team. So let's read what Kathy Colby just said here. You're terrific when juggling rapidly changing priorities. You are known for taking risks that are grounded in practical realities. You don't mess around with what has always been done, but temper your trial and error approach by strategizing options. So in layman's term, it basically means that I make decisions very quickly. I look at whatever facts are there, and then I make a decision. I'm not really grounded, or I'm not really stuck on certain traditions. I don't focus on, doing what was done before. If I see if there's another way to do things, I will do it. And I'll take a trial error approach, looking at all the options. That's me. Now, why is that valuable for me to understand? Well, it lets me know where my blind spots are. So my team members, many of them have high scores where I'm a little bit lower. Now, again, just because you're lower in a certain area doesn't mean that you did anything wrong or there's something wrong with you. It just means that you prioritize certain action modes over than other ones. I like to make decisions very quickly. I like to move very quickly. I like to look at all the facts, but again, I make my decision. I look at the facts. I say, we're going to do this. But you know where I'm lacking? I'm lacking with the systems, the follow through. I'm lacking with the implementation. And a lot of my team members, they have high follow through, high implementation. I wouldn't know that I would need them because if I didn't have the Colby assessment. Now again, do you want a team that they all approach problems the same way? No. Something would fall through the cracks. Again, if you had an insurance coordinator who had to be very detail oriented, right? Be very good with details, and maybe they do the accounts as well, and so they're really good with numbers. You would want someone with a high fact finder, right? You would want someone with a high fact finder. Maybe someone who, again, like maybe one of the team leads who, you trust them to, create some systems for maybe the back office and whatnot. You would want someone to have a good follow through, a high follow through, maybe high implementation. So the Colby A assessment really helps you identify who you are, but also identifies who your team is. And what's important there is that helps you put them in spaces and in seats that helps them to succeed, which is extremely important. Think about being in the wrong seat and doing the wrong thing, not working up to your strengths. It can be pretty demoralizing, right? But what if you put them in the right spot where they can thrive and do well? Makes them pretty happy. So again, the Colby assessment, something that I highly recommend that you put yourself through and your team through so that you can really understand your core self. So the next section is genuine connection. Genuine connection. Again, we talked about core identity, and then now we're talking about a genuine connection. That's the second part of the engagement cycle. This is my former hygienist, CJ. CJ came into my practice as a dental assistant, and I'll tell you what, we were her first job, right? And she actually cried when we hired her because no one would hire her without any experience. But what she's holding there is a vision board. And we're going to talk about vision boards, but what she's holding there is a vision board. And in that vision board, she had dental hygienist as one of her goals. And so that was something that she's always wanted to be, was a dental hygienist. And what did I do? I made it my mission. As she was helping me grow my practice, I wanted to help her reach her dreams. And so I started researching. I started telling her about different schools that apply. I started helping her with the application process. I started mentoring her. I started showing her the things that she might need when she get into hygiene school. And when she got into hygiene school, the summer before, we made sure that she was really good at taking x-rays, taking impressions, all these things that she would be graded on. And you know what she did on the clinical side when she was in hygiene school? She aced every single class. And I told her, CJ, when you're done with hygiene school, you're going to come back. When she came back, she was our hygienist. She got her first job as a dental assistant, and she got her first job as a dental hygienist in my practice. And she was able to help me, in my grow my practice as a hygienist, and I also help her to achieve her dreams. And she would still be in my practice if she didn't meet the man of her dreams and she got married. She's in Arizona now. But again, how can you ask your team to care about your practice if you don't care about their hopes and dreams? So it leads me to this question. Do you know your team? Like, do you really know them? Ask yourself this question. Do you know your team's financial goals? What about their travel goals? Family goals? Educational goals? What about their health goals? Okay, so ask yourself this additional question. Do you know the important things about them? Do you know their family members? Do you know their likes and dislikes? What about their background? Do you know any of these things? Because I'm going to give you this question here. How can you ask someone to help grow your team, help grow your dream, or help you achieve your dream when you don't know anything about their dreams? Again, when you show someone that you care about their dreams, they feel like they have that connection with you, that you care, and they want to work hard to help you achieve your dreams. But if you can align the two things, their dreams and your dreams, that's where the magic happens. Now, let's say that you don't know your team very well, or maybe you would like to know them better, but it's kind of awkward. You can't just sit them down and say, hey, tell me about your family. You can't sit them down, hey, tell me everything about you, right? But there's two ways that you can do this so that you really understand them and get to know them. And you can do it in a way that it builds, team building. One is vision board. And I'm going to give out a shout out to Dr. Anissa Holmes. She is actually the person who introduced me to vision boards. And it was great. And then over the years, I tweaked it. So someone taught her vision boards. She taught me vision boards. She kind of tweaked it, and I tweaked it too. And I want to share you what I did with vision boards. The next thing is the getting to know you questionnaire. And believe it or not, maybe many of you guys do it already, but you don't realize it. But it's what you do with the questionnaire that's where you get that true, genuine connection. So vision boards. Vision board. So a vision board is a visual representation of someone's hopes and dreams and their goals. Hopes, dreams, and goals. And so generally what you put on a vision board is health goals, financial goals, career goals, family goals, travel goals, all the things that I just mentioned, all those goals, you want to put that on your vision board, but you want to make it a visual representation. Now, when we do this vision board exercise, we list these things out and we tell our team, we want you to put all those goals out because we all want to know about it. So you would either cut clippings out of a magazine, or nowadays, most people just print things online and they cut it out and you arrange it, and you can get real creative here and arrange it on the board. This is actually a team building event. So what we do in our practice is that we have them make their vision board, go home, make your vision board, and then we're going to have an event where we actually share it together. Everyone gets in front of everyone and shares the vision board together. And so that's what we do. We share our vision board with each other. What does that do? That lets the whole team know what each other's goals are, but also lets you know what your team's hope, dreams, and goals are. And that's really powerful. I want to share a story with you. It was about 2 years ago, about 3 years ago. It's probably 3 years now. I don't even count 2020. It's like a blur to me. So sometimes I'll just skip over the year, but it's actually 3 years ago. And I took my team to a convention in Orlando. Now, why did I do that? On their vision board at the time, about 4 of my team members had Harry Potter World as one of the places they've always wanted to visit. Harry Potter World. And so I said, okay. Well, I normally take my team on a team trip going to a conference. And so I noticed that in Orlando that year, the Florida Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry was doing their meeting there in Orlando. So we went there. And guess what we did after we went to the convention? Harry Potter World. So again, I was able to help my team check off like one thing off their list because, again, I wanted to help them achieve their goals. They helped me achieve my goals in the practice. I wanted to reward them. So using a vision board to really understand how to reward your team is really powerful. But you know what else is also powerful? Think about how the things that we needed to know to go to dental school. Think about all the things we needed to learn and know to run a practice, to grow our wealth, to balance our checkbook, all those things. Don't you think that some of that knowledge would be very useful to your team? So when you look at their vision board, and let's say they want to pay off their credit cards, and we know a thing or two about paying off debt because we all graduated with a lot of debt in dental school, right? We are in a unique position to really inspire and mentor our team. And when you mentor someone, when you help someone, what happens? You start to get more connected, right? And maybe you don't have the answers, but maybe you have someone you work with. Like, let's say maybe you have a CPA or a financial planner. Maybe you can do a lunch and learn and invite your CPA and maybe invite your financial planner in there to talk to some of your team. Again, we have a lot of skills that we don't realize that could help our team members. And when you help someone, you build that genuine connection. The other exercise is a getting to know you questionnaire. And maybe some of you guys do this, maybe some of you guys don't, but we actually do this all the time. And it's called a secret Santa list, at least in my practice. So every year, we have a list of things you like, things you don't like, what's your favorite color, what's your favorite snacks, what's your favorite drink, what's your favorite coffee, all these different things. We have that because we do a secret Santa with our team. You know, we buy something for our team and you know, we do a white elephant gift exchange. Well, whenever they submit this and we do our secret Santa, I always ask them to give me the papers back. Why? Because I want to know what they like. I want to know, you know, when I give them a gift for their birthday, when I give them a gift during Christmas, when I give them a gift just because, I want to give them something that's very thoughtful. And by having this list, you can give someone something really thoughtful. And what ends up happening, oh, my doctor really knows what I like. My doctor really knows me. And when someone really feels like you really know them, that's where the genuine connection happens. So we went through core identity, genuine connection, and now we're going to talk about growth potential. And I want you guys to think about all the jobs you've had. Some jobs have been fruitful, and some jobs were dead-end jobs, right? Who's watching right now, who's watching right now likes a dead-end job? I'm pretty sure no one raised their hand. No one likes to be in a dead-end job, and neither does your team. And again, team despair always rolls towards, hey, I'm in a dead-end job. I have no way to make more money. I don't know what's going on. I can't make more money. I can't get any better. You know, so again, a way to stop team despair is to make sure you have a path for them to grow and get better. I'm really big. Something that I'm widely known for is a pay grade system that I use in my practice. I'm going to briefly go over that right now because, again, growth potential is going to be tied to how to help your team members get paid what they're worth. But I want to walk you through this scenario. Have you ever had a situation where one of your team members, they came up to you and they say, hey, doc, I need to talk to you at the end of the day. I need to talk to you later. When that happens, is that normally a good thing? Is that something that you're looking forward to, the conversation? Most of the time they're thinking about quitting. Some of the time they're, want to bring up something that you don't want to talk about. But the majority of the time, it's because they want more money. And so they ask, hey, I think I need a raise. And then you're like, well, okay, or maybe. And you're thinking in your head, can I afford to give them a raise? Do they deserve a raise? What if I don't give them enough? The team members also stressed out because they're thinking if they ask for too much, are you going to lay them off? And is it going to change things? It's really awkward. But what if I told you that there was a way that you can make that whole situation not awkward at all? What if I told you there was a way that you can just lay it out, like how they can get a raise, exactly how much they can get, and they know exactly how they're going to get it. And if they get a raise, it's because they were bringing more money to you. What if I told you that was an option? Would you be willing to do that? Well, I'm telling you right now it is, because I do it in my practice and so many other practices I coach, and we're going to talk about it right now. It's the pay grade system. There's two things here that are really important to us as practice owners: profits and production. We need to make money. We need to make a profit so that we can pay our bills, pay ourselves, and help grow the practice. Team members, they want to be empowered. They want to feel like they have the power to get better and to make more money. And they want to be fulfilled. They want to feel like they are getting paid what they're worth. And so again, sometimes whenever we have these two separate goals and ideas, sometimes we don't speak each other's language. I have this picture here because I think it's a funny picture. I'm holding a purple mouth mirror, and it's a disposable, and I told my lead assistant, Kaylee, can you order me some purple mouth mirrors? And she did. But she ordered this huge one, and she's holding it right now. It's big enough for a Neanderthal. Okay, so again, sometimes we speak different languages, and that's what that picture shows. So the pay grade system, this is my team here. Again, we want our team to be happy, and we want to do the things that they love to do, and that's what those pictures represent. But the pay grade system. The pay grade system is a system where you have multiple tiers of pay. So let's just, for ease of explanation, a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. 1, 2, and 3. And each of these tiers is a range, maybe $10 to $15 an hour, maybe $15 to $18 an hour or whatnot. And associated with each of the pays is a set of skills and tasks. The goal is as you move up in the tiers, you get paid more. So the team members know exactly what they need to do to level up, and you know exactly what they're doing to help bring more production in the practice. So we're going to start up with talking about the pay grade system for the front office. And I want to give you some examples, but ultimately what I want you guys to think about is you're going to listen to what I say and how my system, and you're going to create your own system. Okay. This is my front office staff there. They're awesome. Super grateful to have them. And so we're going to talk about the pay grade. Now, before I go any further, the pay right there that I put there, this slide, this image is actually an older image, so I need to upgrade it. But again, don't just look at the system and not so much the dollar signs, okay? Also, depending on what part of the country you're in, the pay is going to be a little bit different. The pay is going to be a little bit different. So again, you're going to make it according to your own pay and wherever you're at. So a level 1 is someone who's brand new. Someone who just came in and they have a little bit of experience, scanning documents, scheduling according to the block system, things that don't take too much skill. They're entry-level skills. But again, you keep them in a level 1 until they master this whole section. And once they do, they graduate to a level 2, which is more advanced things. But again, as they get better, they pick up skills that can help you make more money. Okay, that's how the pay grade works. So in a level 2, they're sending PPO claims, they're leading morning huddles, they're maintaining payment plans. They are doing things that help bring more money in the practice. When they get to a level 3, they're almost independent. They're doing advanced treatment plans. They're doing the monthly report. They are handling aging reports. They're dealing with conflict resolution. Every level they get better, and those skills that they acquire help you make more money in your practice. I have templates here again that you can download. Click on the link that I'm going to provide in the comments, and you can download this and you can start working on your own pay grade system. These are my assistants. And again, we're going to talk about the pay grade for dental assistants and back office. Again, there's multiple levels, right? A level 1, level 2, and level 3. And a level 1 person is someone who's new. They know how to set up rooms. They know how to break down rooms. But then as they move up, they're learning how to make temporaries. They're learning how to pack cord. They're learning how to scan arches in an intraoral scanner. By the time they're at level 3, they're freeing you up so you can go somewhere else to make more money. You can go to another op to make more money. So again, you're incentivizing people to level up. Now, these pay grades, they're all listed in my break room. I have nothing to hide. So my team knows exactly what they need to do to get better. And when they know exactly what they need to do to get better, then it's open and transparent. What's also really powerful is that I use these pay grades when I do interviews. When people sit down and they're like, hey, I want $20 an hour, I go to the pay grade. I'm like, well, do you know how to do this, 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 and this? No. Well, then you really shouldn't be paid what you're asking for. But you know what? I do want to pay you that. And would you be willing to do an on-the-job training at a lower salary? And hopefully I can get you there sooner than later. Most of the time they say yes, because they see that I'm giving time to help them get better. And it helps me because then once they get their skill level up, then they're worth the pay that they're asking for. It's my hygienist. And again, you see CJ over there. She was my former hygienist, but again, she's in Arizona now because she had to fall in love with her husband and get married out there. But she's one of our hygienists, really influential in growing our practice. And then Yesenia, who's our lead hygienist, she's holding her laser because she loves the Gemini laser. So the dental hygienist pay grade skill is a little different, right? Because again, most hygienists are coming in, they already have the skill set there. But I'm going to tell you this, the industry standard for dental hygienist pay is 3 times their pay in production. Okay? Whatever they're getting paid, they should produce 3 times that. Some places they do 4 times. But generally that is the normal standard, general standard there. Now here's the thing. At a certain point, your hygienist is going to plateau. They can only scale so fast. They can only do so many SRPs. But here's the issue. What happens when they want to make more money? They get put in a weird position where they might have to cut some corners, might have to cut some corners, might have to do things that they normally wouldn't do. We don't ever want to put our hygienists in that. They're too valuable. We never want to put any of our team members in that. So what do? We have to help them level up. We have to help them learn new skills such as laser therapy to increase production. My team, I got them certified in using lasers for periodontal therapy. And Elaine Rodriguez, I want to give a shout out to her. She's the one who trained my team. She is so awesome. You definitely want to look her up. But again, I've given my team members ability to make more money. And then you got to help them find opportunities to get more production, like sealants and fluoride. That's like the low-hanging fruit. If you truly feel that sealants and fluoride can help your patient, shouldn't we be offering that to everyone? And again, you need to work with your hygienist to offer those things. There's bonus structures that help them make more money. Maybe bonus your hygienist on selling products that can help the patients. So those are the type of things that we need to do to help our hygienists level up so that they can continue to get paid what they're worth. So we just went through a lot of things here as far as our this presentation goes. And remember, we went through core identity, we went through genuine connection, we went through growth potential. All these things, they lead to having a happy team. So we have some action steps now. Now, I told you when this presentation is not about, coming in and just listening to me and not doing anything. I'm giving you some action steps. I want you to implement these things. I need you to create a practice that your team cares about. And how are you going to do that? You're going to create core values, and then you're going to figure out what you're all about, what your team's about, how you guys solve problems, because there's going to be problems in a dental practice that you need to solve. So core identity. You're going to create a genuine connection. That's genuine connection in the engagement cycle. You're going to learn about them. You're going to connect with them by learning their hopes and dreams. That's your vision board. That's your questionnaire. You're going to create a growth-minded environment. And that is giving them the ability to level up so that they know how to get better. They know how to make more money and help you out as well. Those are your action steps. And again, this wasn't here for you just to listen. I want you to implement these things on Monday. And this is my team. This is my team. My team is really big on service. So you see a picture there with us being at the Texas Mission of Mercy, volunteering our time. We love to travel, whether at Smiles at Sea. There's our mission statement, our vision statement, our core values. That's on our wall when you walk in. I want to kind of talk to you about a story about my grandpa. My grandpa, if you look at that picture right there, my grandpa, he never takes a picture by himself. He always wants my grandma there, and that's why my grandma's there as well. I don't think there's ever a picture they've ever taken that didn't include one of them, right? And if you look at my grandpa, he looks mad, right? He looks mad, right? And the thing is that he's a very happy person. Each time I look at these pictures, I get a big smile on my face because I know that he's a really happy person. And when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, you know how teenagers are. Teenagers always look like they're mad, and they always cop an attitude, right? That's pretty much how teenagers act. And I remember one day I came to visit him. I was like, "Hey, hi, Grandpa," and I looked pissed off. And he came up to me, and what my grandpa likes to do, he likes to poke me in the ribs. He likes to poke me there, right? And so, he would poke me, and he says, "Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me?" He would poke me. And I would say, "No, stop it, Grandpa. No, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you." And he said, "Well, then why do you look mad?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not mad." He says, "Well, when you walk in and you say hi and you look mad, it makes me feel like you're mad at me." And that's a lesson that he always shared with me, right? That's always stayed with me, is that the way you present yourself when you meet someone, when you see someone, and even if you're not mad at them, if you look like you're having a bad day, it makes that other person feel like something's wrong with them. And it's something I take into each time I see a patient, no matter how annoyed I am with them or what kind of day I'm having. It's also how I approach my team whenever I talk to them. I think about all the great things that they've done for me. I think about my patient, what they've helped me to accomplish. And I keep those things in mind when I see them, and I come in with a smile. So I want you to think about this, that all your team members, hopefully they stay with you a long time. But if they don't, I want you to have this mentality that they are leaving being grateful and happy that they work for you. I want you to take that. And if you strive to make sure that your team members leave happy, leave fulfilled, feel like they got something from working with you, if you approach your relationships with team with that mentality, you won't have team despair. You'll have team happiness. So guys, thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Reach out to me anytime in the Nifty Thrifty. Go message me on Facebook. I hope that helps, and understand that, there's always going to be times. There's going to be times where it's hard to find team members. But the best way to prevent a team issue or a staffing issues is taking care of your team. So thank you so very much. Well, there you have it. That concludes the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Spring Virtual Summit. I hope you found all the presentations informative. I hope you got inspired, and I hope you got actionable items that you can take back to your practice on Monday and implement. Thank you so much again to all our sponsors. We could not have done this event without you. And for those who are watching, make sure you take advantage of those show deals. Now, if you want CE for this event, remember to click the link above. We'll have another post in the group. Click the link, and for $99, you'll get 10 hours of CE. We plan on doing these events, a lot more of these events. And so again, reach out to me if you want to be a speaker at a future event, but also if you have suggestions as well. Again, thank you so much for watching our CE event. Thank you so much for being a part of the Nifty Thrifty Dentist community. And my name is Dr. Glenn Vo, and I'll see you soon in the Nifty Thrifty Dentist.